In today's video, I want to ask if Manchester city centre is a safe place to visit. Over the last number of days, there have been some serious crime incidents taking part in the city. And this morning, Sunday the 6th of July, I've woke up and just watched a fellow YouTuber, Charlie Veitch's video based on his events from a Saturday afternoon in the city. And I'm going to show you in this content some still images taken from Charlie's video, and I would encourage you to go and watch the actual video itself and just see how things transpired. And what I want to show from the video is just the rising tensions and criminality that appear to be sparking up within the city itself. You could pick probably any one of Charlie's videos and you would see some similar content. However, I feel that yesterday's video seems to really be reaching a boiling point, and I think it's worth covering this topic just to give you an idea of what's going on in a major city in the UK right now. Now, to give some context to this, on the 3rd of July, the news reported that there had been a multiple person attack in Manchester itself. Several people left wounded, and the BBC reported on this. I'll show it on screen for you now. And within a few hours of this, Greater Manchester Police had also then issued a Section 60. The Section 60 gives them the opportunity to stop and search anybody within the city centre without a main reason being given. That's a temporary power that the police had available to them following the incident on the 3rd of July. We're going to pick up the content here 59 minutes into Charlie's video. I would suggest you watch all of his content because I find it quite fascinating. Me personally, my opinion, I find his content quite fascinating. At times, I feel it quite relaxing. However, not this video. I was definitely feeling the tenseness of just what he's captured in one single afternoon in Manchester city centre. As we pick up the video, Charlie is in Piccadilly Gardens, a central location within Manchester. Now, this is a pretty diverse audience that's around this particular area. You see a lot of YouTubers using this for content, and you just see the real diversity within this area. You can see on this screenshot that Charlie has walked past a group of foreign young lads that are gathered and using the usual face coverings. Now, the guy with the face covering that you can see on screen that I've pointed out now, he'll become key to this story as this progresses. But as we move on to the next image, you can see here just a close-up of that particular character. He will become key to this story as we move forward. But it's a Saturday afternoon. It's been raining in the morning and now it's warmer. It's about 21 degrees, as Charlie's mentioned in his video. So a hoodie and a balaclava, of course, make perfect sense in a city centre where people are out shopping on a Saturday. Balaclava guy, he disappears. He heads off through the crowd, walking past Charlie, and Charlie at this point has to have 2 security guards with him in order to basically walk around Manchester and feel some sort of safety to keep an eye on his back. The guy you can see on screen now becomes the new agitator, the kind of, I guess, dreads in his hair, the central figure here. He becomes the new agitator. Now, I've added the timestamps so that you can see as this progresses. I've paused Charlie's video at 59 minutes and 7 seconds. This is at the point where the guy with the dreads picks up a can, opens it and throws it at Charlie and the group. Now, there's people sitting around, there's families walking through here, and so the impulse control on this guy is totally gone. He's lost the plot and he's decided to just launch an item at Charlie and the 2 security guards and potentially hitting anybody else who's around. So 59 minutes and 7 seconds, I want you to pay close attention to that because it will become relevant in terms of from a timestamp. The guy with the dreads, the cornrows, after launching the can, he just simply sets off. He sprints off into the city centre to evade being captured, a citizen's arrest, and one of Charlie's security guards, Tay, he sets off after him. And so at that point, Charlie's faced with a decision with his second security guard of following or staying where they are. So they take a quick decision and decide to also give chase. They now find themselves closer towards the most famous McDonald's in the world, the most violent McDonald's in the world, right at Piccadilly Gardens, That's where you'll find this scene now taking place. The guy with the dreads is now accompanied by a group of his mates and also just some other random people that seem to be hanging out with him, always with the same kind of style, the tracksuits, the balaclava, the face coverings, the hoods up. That's the attire of this generation. We're now at 1 hour and 36 seconds. The guy with the dreads now becomes a bit more emboldened. He starts to gain some confidence that there's a group behind him. He's got his camera out and he's challenging, cursing, swearing. It's difficult to really capture a lot of what he's saying because accents are quite thick and obviously the camera audio is not quite picking it up, but the confrontation continues. Now at 2 minutes past the hour, and you can see a group is again gathering, and the cornrow guy, the dreads guy, circling round the back of the group, constantly throwing out insults. And as we now reach 1 hour and 5 minutes, again, Charlie has now retreated back, getting his back against the wall because a group is starting to gather. Many people videoing the incident, but we're at 1 hour and 5 minutes now, and still no sign of any potential police. And keep in mind, this is Manchester city centre. We're talking about Manchester and the UK, one of the most heavily surveilled countries and cities in the world. CCTV on every single street corner. Somebody sitting manning that CCTV, and yet no sign of the police. 1 hour and 6 minutes into the video, dreadlock guy, completely emboldened by the crowd that's surrounding, and now again back to challenge, very aggressive and into the face of the security guards and also Charlie. 1 hour and 8 minutes, no sign of the police. You can see here at 1 hour and 8 minutes and 23 seconds, the tram rolls round. Most people just standing around, not even paying attention to the tram coming. So the crowd has to squash in a little bit towards the security guards and Charlie, becoming a very intimidating environment. 1 hour and 10 minutes. You can see here now the crowd has really grown. We're probably talking several hundred people at this point. We started at 59 minutes. We're 1 hour and 10, no sign of the police. At 1 hour and 13 minutes, the dreadlock guy is really confrontational with women around who are also videoing and challenging him back. He's really in their faces, being very aggressive. Still no sign of the police. 1 hour and 16 minutes, Charlie, his security guards and several other YouTubers start to retreat down the street as best they can. It's at this point that objects start getting thrown from the back of the crowd. No way to identify who's thrown these. You can see in this image, the gentleman with his arm in the plaster cast, he's just been hit in the face by a plastic bottle. He's taken it to the side of the head and he's wiping off the impact. 1 hour and 16 minutes in now, and what you can see to the right is there are families here. This is Manchester city centre. There are people out with their children in buggies and on bikes, and objects are being thrown from the back of the crowd. And again, tensions are running really high. This is as close to a street battle that you're going to see in the city. It is a Saturday afternoon, 1 hour and 16 minutes. It started at 59 minutes, still no sign of the police. At this point, 1 hour, 16 minutes and 26 seconds, there is a tall gentleman at the back who ends up in a fist fight with a group of the lads. He's effectively been hit by a bottle protecting what looks like his family, and he's ended up in a brawl with them. Still no sign of the police. 1 hour and 18 minutes now, and Charlie has moved further down the street. And what I find baffling about all this is there are so many groups of just young kids, but mainly young girls, who are just hanging around here for no apparent reason in the middle of all of this potential violence, with just no real understanding as to how quickly this could escalate. And yet they're just hanging around, using their vapes, and just generally finding the whole thing quite hilarious. Not just the girls, but a lot of the young lads as well. It's really interesting to me that very few people find that this violence sparking up is worrying, that want to either push back against it or just get out of the way. It's real mob mentality at this point. Still no sign of the police. 1 hour and 19 minutes now. Now, the hooded character that we talked about previously, it looks like he's reappeared and he's standing just in front of a woman with 2 kids who's just watching this all play out. He starts to then again become quite menacing. He's got his vape, hands in his pocket, balaclava and a hood on. If you're standing there facing somebody like that, how do you think you're handling that situation? I ask you, you can tell me in the comments. An hour and 21 minutes now, and a new lad appears confident in that he wants to push back on Charlie and his security guards, starts championing, giving a bit of stick back, and again, one of Charlie's security guards is going back and forth with this lad. One of Charlie's security guards is also a pastor, so he's giving a bit of a sermon, trying to push back using Christ, the Lord, God, as his, I guess, verbal combat tactic, just trying to, I guess, bring down the level of potential confrontation that they're facing here. But this lad seems keen for a bit of aggression. An hour and 23 minutes now. So again, this started at 59 minutes into the video. It's now an hour and 23 minutes. So let's say 24 minutes that this has been raging in one of the busiest streets in the UK. Still no sign of the police. Balaclava guy now gets much closer, hands in his pockets. Charlie points him out. An hour and 27 minutes, Charlie's retreating down the street again, still surrounded by the same characters, the same young girls on their vapes, just enamoured by the whole situation. It's really baffling to me the way that kids just follow this around. An hour and 29 minutes in 1 second. It will be hard to see from this still image, but what they're turning around and focusing on is a police car. 30 minutes after this large crowd gathered in Manchester city centre, 2 police officers happen to be passing in a car and are flagged down by one of the other YouTubers who's following along this incident. At this point, you can see the 2 officers getting out the car and are immediately faced with this large crowd. The first action that they take is to arrest the balaclava guy and detain him for a search. Take him over to a shop front. Now, I'm no expert in this situation, but given the size of the crowd, it would have appeared to me that it would probably have been best to go into the shop with him, detain him and do the search away from the crowd behind a locked door. But instead, the store itself simply locks its doors and leaves the police and the large crowd outside. Look, I get it, they don't want to be involved, but that might have helped just kind of take them out of the eye's view. But you can also see just to the right, another balaclava guy, full face mask, hat on, getting right into the police's face, videoing it, and at no point do the police tell him to step back or get out of the way. I mean, that looks quite intimidating to me, but what do I know? An hour and 31 minutes, Charlie pans round. The same girls are just there, giggling, laughing in their vapes, and the rest of the crowd just find the whole situation hilarious. Most of these people have just followed this like a gaggle of geese, just tailing along to see what's going on. Again, the kind of self-discipline or willingness to just push back against the violence, it's not there. And now at an hour and 32 minutes in, the police discover that balaclava guy actually was armed. He was carrying a blade with him. The police have discovered this and he's arrested. So a guy that was walking around Manchester city centre with a balaclava, full face covering, got a hat on, got a hoodie on, dressed in the middle of summer like a ninja, is arrested, detained, and just so happens to have a knife on him. And as we reach the finale of this, an hour and 33 minutes into the video, Charlie is still being followed by a group of young lads. He ends up talking to them, takes a group picture with them, and they eventually disperse and leave him. And that is the culmination of the video. Now, from 59 minutes to an hour and a half, so literally 30 plus minutes for the police to just appear. With CCTV everywhere, a group of 200 to 300 people that would be identifiable on that CCTV surrounding 3 men plus some other people who have kind of joined in. It's quite terrifying. This is why I think city centres are just doomed. This is Andy Burnham's city, Greater Manchester Police. This is 2 days after a serious incident has taken place, and that the fact that the police have Section 60 at their disposal when they can detain people and search, and yet there's not a police officer in sight anywhere. I'm saying this, I just don't want to go into the cities. I just avoid them. You can see people here on Charlie's video who are just out on a Saturday who don't know what's going on and suddenly walk into the middle of this group. At the same time, projectiles, lighters, coins, bottles, cans are being thrown around this place. It is terrifying. And I just watch this and think, what is happening to this country? What a Sunday video, Charlie. If you ever see this, what a video you've posted. You have balls of steel walking around here. Sure, you might have 2 security guards, but against 200-300 people, that's... I know people will say, you know, Charlie eggs this on. I think this is simply shining a light on what society looks like. So I wanted to talk about this. I think the video is amazing. I'll leave a link down in the description for you to go check it out. See for your own eyes what you think about it, and then ask yourself, would you want to go shopping on a Saturday afternoon, sit around Piccadilly Gardens and enjoy a bit of sunshine in amongst all of what's going on? Drug dealing, crimes, violence, alcohol abuse, whilst people try and enjoy their Saturday afternoon? Not for me. I will not be visiting Manchester anytime soon, and I would advise others to be very careful if you're visiting cities in the UK right now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.